Welcome back, my friends. Here we are. Episode 6 of, what are we going to do, Jake? 6,000 episodes? How long will that take us? Probably a pretty long time. Few years, 6,000 episodes. We'll see you there. You better watch every single episode, every minute of it. Otherwise, Jake's not going to be happy because he needs the content time. So I'm happy you're doing that. Excited, man. I got Peyton with me. Let me give Peyton a formal introduction. This is going to be a lot more about Peyton. It's not going to be me adding a ton of advice, but that's okay because you can get some advice on the next episode. For those of you that don't know, which is probably pretty much all of you, unless you actively borrow from us and you are requesting a draw right now and you're not getting your money, there's probably a reason why, because Peyton's sitting in here with me because I pulled him out of his desk, pulled him off the road from travel and have him here with me. And really what I want to do is get into, obviously you guys know we're about a year or so plus into hard launching, right? We probably had a soft launch for a good little while there we could talk about, but into our lending business, Peyton's been an instrumental part of, everything we're doing. I would tell you, I don't know that we'd be where we're at today without, Peyton's buy-in early on at Steel Point Capital.
Some high praise. Appreciate that.
You're welcome, buddy. Don't get used to it. Don't you get used to that. Anyways, maybe I'll shut up for half a second. Real quick, do me a favor. Introduce yourself and, don't do it in a stupid way of like, oh, I'm Peyton, I work at City Lake Steel Point. Give us your City Life Steel Point transition journey. Give us the 2-minute kind of, you started in banking, where you came to, kind of know what you do now, and then what makes you happy and excited of the work that you're doing for us today?
Like you said, I started in banking. I was first job out of college. I was commercial analyst, underwriting deals, some business deals, some real estate deals, large multi, stuff like that. So I was there for a year. Wife's still in Pittsburgh. I want to come out to Pittsburgh. I'm listening to BiggerPockets. I'm like, all right, I go to Pittsburgh. What do I want to do? Like, I don't want to do banking. I'm sitting talking to some older ladies that work in the same department as me. There's no one below the age of 30, and I can't relate to any of these people. And the podcast said, get a job in real estate. Like, if you want to be in real estate, work in real estate.
Yeah.
So I saw the City Life listing, applied. Oddly enough, I was watching all your podcasts from back then, like getting to know the company, getting to know you guys prior to ever coming in for an interview. Got the job, transaction coordinator for the wholesale company, worked with TJ. He hired me, so that was a whole experience in itself, but learned a lot through that process.
Hey, Jake, let's put a note down. We're going to talk about how TJ onboards people. Yeah. And then we're just going to start interviewing like 15 of the people that he has, and we're going to get we'll just cut it all up.
But did that until, I transitioned to the back office with Steph, doing some refis and stuff for the portfolio and keeping all that real estate alive. And then I ended up switching again over to investor relations stuff with Michael Schmidt.
Shout out Schmitty, baby. Schmitty's what, 5 years. He's on to bigger and better financial things. So that's big ass companies.
Yeah. We were doing a little bit of lending back then, but it was people we knew, trusted, like worked with prior. So we were comfortable.
Why did we have to move you there?
I don't remember what
we shut down the wholesale company.
Yeah, but after wholesale, I went with Steph. I was doing the refi and stuff.
Yeah, and then we moved.
So why did I move from refi to?
Yeah, I don't remember.
What was I doing? I think
it was all kind of part of the
same.
Yeah, it was kind of like. I think what happened is, and so for those of you who don't know, Peyton was the transaction coordinator. What I would say the lifeblood of wholesaling. So maybe we get in to give a little education to the world on that, and then we'll keep going here. But so Peyton came in. And as you can imagine, he worked for TJ. TJ is a nut job when it comes to consistency. He's the most consistent human I've ever met.
Yeah.
And so he immediately teaches consistency, right? Time blocking, how to be incredibly consistent, get your butt up at 4 a.m, actually get the butt up at 3 a.m, whatever.
Go to F45 with him.
Go to F45 with him, all the things. What do you want? You tell me, right? You say out of your mouth, you want to be a great human and you want to be awesome and you want to accomplish all your goals. Well, show me, right? Yeah. And he makes you show him by doing what he's doing. I love that, right? But it's hard, especially when you're not used to it, especially when you come out of banking. No offense to any bankers, but the banking hours are pretty nice.
Yeah.
And the pressure that comes in banking world is not super hard.
I was just collecting a paycheck for sure.
Correct. Yeah, there was no real pressure. Now all of a sudden, the pressure that comes with transaction, and this is a lot of the reason why I didn't love the business, right? But talk about the pressure and the role that you were in and the follow-up that you had to do and the navigating, right? Because if you're not in wholesaling is essentially, you do off-market marketing, you find a property, you get it under contract. The contract is sellable. You then go find a buyer on the other side and you sell that contract to them, and then there's a title company involved, right? In any sale of a home, as most of you wholesalers know. And so then you're dealing with sellers, right? The buyers, and you're dealing with the transaction title company. And your job is to make sure that that thing closes as a transaction coordinator, because that's the only way that everybody gets paid and the only way the company makes money. And so while you didn't find the property, while you didn't sell and dispose of the property, you're still responsible for making sure that thing closes, probably more than anybody, right? Because those wholesale fee spreads only come in the door. And what was our fallout rate? We had like a 50% fallout rate. It was all we were shooting for. And so you needed those, right? And so the pressure was always massively there to do that, right? And on top of that is 1,000 emails that you're managing, because title company doesn't want to pick up the phone. Sellers and buyers don't want to pick up their phone anymore. So it's just an email chain of trying to coordinate. Like, give us a glimpse into that. Like, I gave a glimpse of how I see it, but I can promise you I've never was on one of those emails in my life, because I never liked wholesaling. I didn't like what you did. I didn't like any of the world, so I avoided it like a plague.
Yes.
Give us the insider scoop on like what that was like for you, particularly coming out of banking into a new world of doing all of this, working for TJ at that.
Yeah, so I think I'm a pretty organized guy, and that definitely helped in this role, but it was a little bit of shell shock. Just one, TJ, you mentioned emails. TJ doesn't want you to email, right? He wants you to pick up the phone, call these people, build a relationship, get them to do stuff on your time, keep pushing, driving. So I'm talking to title, I'm talking to dispo, we're talking directly to the sellers, we're talking directly to the buyers, I'm talking to everybody, trying to coordinate everything. I guess you have two people,
you have a buyer and a seller, but you also have a buyer wholesaler's agent and a seller's agent. One of them would be us, but we're only one of those two.
Yeah, exactly. So it's dealing with a bunch of relationships, talking to a lot of people, trying to keep everything on track, pushing forward, letting the buyer know, hey, you got to do this, this, and this, and not waiting for title to tell them, because we want to push. Every day counts, so we're trying to deal. So we can close it a day or two earlier, we're going to push to do that.
What do you think you learned the most? Like, if you had to summarize all of that, like, what did you learn the most? Maybe about yourself, or maybe just about how to be successful in life.
I hate to give TJ credit, but it's just...
Give him credit, he deserves it.
I know, he does deserve it, for sure.
We just don't like to give TJ
Just don't leave anything up to chance, right? Like, just take control. Take control, and you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. It's just a matter of doing it.
To reiterate, take control. We always say, if you can control the situation, and don't let fate decide your outcome, right? If you watched my last episode, it's the same thing about the follow-up, right? If you're trying to close a deal and sell something, follow up until you get a hold of them. Don't leave it to fate that maybe one day they'll call you because someone else is calling them, and it's convenient for them, they're going to close with them. Same exact concept here is like, don't leave it to chance. Call whoever you need to call to have the conversations. Have you been able to, you think in your eyes, like, can you equate that to your personal life and business just in general, but like how you've been able to start to really think and apply that to life in general that's created a better world for you?
Just doing that, picking up the phone, talking to people, calling people. Like TJ also always says, trust but verify, like doing that on the day-to-day, like, I don't know, just taking control like that.
We shut down our wholesale company, you bounced around a little bit, right? For us, we had layoffs. We didn't want to run a wholesale company anymore, so we shut it down. And so unfortunately, some people had to be let go of. It was a very, very hard, difficult time when we did all of that. And for us, it was like, wow, we love Peyton. He's awesome, and he's a beast. He fits our core values, our culture. He's a rising star, all the things. We got to just find a place. So I think probably it bounced around, because it was like, I'm not losing Peyton, but I don't know what the hell to give him to do. And so let's have him do different things until we figure that out.
Yeah.
And then obviously we took the initiative, and I basically came to you. I don't remember how it goes, so if you remember, feel free to share it to the public or whatever. But it was like, we've got to find another bunch of money on the P&L here. And I got all these ideas, and I've been testing this for months, which you were helping me on the lending side. We're going to go ahead and spin this thing out, and me and TJ are going to roll on our own.
I think it was just a Zoom call you put on my calendar, and I was like, I'm either getting fired or something's going on. Because that doesn't happen, right? Like, I don't talk to you on the day-to-day, so I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on, but it's something big.
You clearly remember it. You remember it was a freaking Zoom thrown on your calendar. But like, maybe just walk us through, if you can, if there's any relevance here, right, of just maybe that time in your life, because obviously you've been bouncing around for a while. We had a company that looked very different because we had 15 people in a wholesale company, and they were all gone the next day. You were bouncing around, the culture's a little bit different, people are a little bit down, you're doing work that you don't even know what the hell you're doing, you don't have a really defined role. Now all of a sudden, hey, why don't you just go ahead and come over to this company that's never made a dollar? I don't have no idea how I'm gonna make us any dollars, but we're gonna figure it out, and I'll keep your salary and make sure you keep getting paid.
Yeah. Not to mention, you also moved it 30 minutes outside the city.
Also, I bought a building 30 minutes away and said,
and I just bought a house 5 minutes down the road from the office. And I was like, I can walk to the office every day. The biggest thing I remember is talking to Steph the one day. After I talked to you, I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Talking to Steph, and I was like, I don't know if there's gonna be enough work for me to do. She's like, Casey will find stuff for you to do. Like, don't worry. Like, it's gonna take off. He's gonna scale it. It's gonna be huge. Like, I was like, all right, sweet, I'm in. Like, let's do it. Then obviously the other conversation was with my wife as far as, hey, I'm actually gonna be driving 30 minutes outside the city every day. Like, I know we just bought this house, but she's like, all right.
Well, that's good for her. She's downtown, right?
Yeah, she can still walk to work if she needed to. But yeah, I mean, those are the two main conversations that I remember during that time was.
So what's it been like since? It's been what, I guess, about a year?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I don't know. Just growing like crazy. Obviously, starting out is just me and TJ. And
so what do you do for us?
Currently?
Yeah.
I handle all the borrower side as far as underwriting, transaction management a little bit with that, creating the docs, draws, basically managing, once we approve the loan, managing the loan throughout the life until
we basically you handle all lending operations. That's how I would look at it, right? So basically anytime, obviously we have Ryan now front end helping on the business development and relationship side with our borrowers, but essentially, you know, someone wants to borrow money from us, they're coming in, they're submitting a loan for, hey, will you guys lend us this money? And so that goes to you, you underwrite it, you review it, you have a conversation, you do all the underwriting, you decide if we're willing to do it, you go get approvals, you got to come back and, you know, obviously we're a growing company. Shout out any investors that want to give us more money because we're still growing our capital stack to be able to do all of these loans. You know, and so there's always this money crunch of, all right, we got to go raise another 400 grand for these two loans that are great loans that Peyton underwrote that, whatever. So you're dealing with that side of it too, and the stress side of all of that. Give us inside scoop to like how you've taught yourself and how you've learned. I mean, obviously the transaction coordination management helped, helping on the refinancing world with Steph, our old CFO at City Life, and doing all the financing deals. And then a little bit kind of, you know, Mike handled underwriting for a lot of our bigger acquisitions for a while. You're working with him for a little bit, taught you a lot. And then I just think, right, obviously, volume solves a lot of problems in terms of education. If you do enough of something, you're going to learn it pretty well.
Exactly.
But I just want to get your take. I mean, we've done hundreds of loans now, right? And we've not had a single default. And the tricky ones.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood, of course. If you're a borrower listening to this too, and you default, I swear I'm coming for you. I want to be able to say that we have zero defaults. Like, I literally had a big meeting this morning and I'm able to say that. It feels so good. Yeah. But I literally caveat it every time I'm saying it. I know one day we're going to get some defaults. Like, it's going to happen. Yeah. But I want to be able to say that for like the next 10 years. I know, yeah. And it's funny because I say that to you sitting here, like the reason that happens is you. Because unless it's a hairy deal, a tricky deal, like every once in a while they bubble up to me, but generally we have a zero perfect rate, and I should not take any credit for that, and I don't, because you're underwriting those deals. Obviously you work a ton with TJ on that, and TJ really knows how to underwrite deals, but like I give you the credit for that. And so what does that look like for you in terms of how you think about and how you underwrite deals to decide if we should lend on them?
Starting out, it was relying on Brett when we were wholesaling. He was teaching me how to underwrite stuff even back then because I wanted my own portfolio, right? So I'm learning how to invest. I'm trying to learn from everybody that I can, and Brett was obviously one of the best around me.
Brett ran acquisitions for us at City Life for years. When we grew the wholesale company, he was kind of head of acquisitions on the wholesale company. Has his own portfolio, still involved in a lot of what we do. We got to get Jake. We'll like that. We'll get Brett on here too at some point.
Brett obviously underwriting the deal in the beginning. Steph learning all the stuff on the back end, how to refi out and learn how banks operate and see it. I knew a little bit from my job, but I was only there a year, so there was so much I could learn. It was those two, and then coming over here, just like you said, experience doing it. Me and TJ, I'll underwrite it, I'll send it to TJ, he'll call me, we'll review it together. He'll say, hey, did you think about this? Did you think about this? Like, what about that? So it was refining that a lot as well. And I'm at the point now where it's like he pretty much trusts.
How much do you put in the underwriting of the deal compared to the underwriting of the borrower? And what is the difference of the two?
Underwriting the deal, I think, is probably the easiest part. I mean, it's just, you're looking at the market, you're looking at numbers. The borrower, you're looking at a person, you're trying to decipher, how they operate, their mindset going into it, any experience they might have. Obviously some financials as well that go into that, but I think that's kind of the trickier part. And that's why TJ always wants us getting on the phone, talking to these people, building that relationship. Like he said, we're relationship-based lending, right? So we want to have that relationship, continue to grow it, understand their goals, how we can help them. And if they're a new investor, we're investors ourselves. So we can look at the deal. So
are you helping investors now when like they send you a deal? Are they relying on you at all, or not as much as I probably think?
We typically say like the first one we'll underwrite without it being under contract, so they can send us a deal. I'll underwrite it, get feedback, compare notes, see like.
So before they have an actual contract or a true request, it's like, hey, I'm thinking about buying this property.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like our.
So you underwrite it for them. They're like, Jake's thinking about buying a property. Mm-hmm. Hey, 123 Main Street. This is the property. It's for sale for $89,000. What do you think of it?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm just underwriting like the deal, right? I'm not looking at the person, so it's a lot quicker. But yeah.
It's all right. ARV is $250.
Like even I do it right now. I'm like, I'll go to Brett or I'll go to Krista and Mikey and be like, hey, Krista and Mikey with Revive, shout out Revive. How's my reno numbers looking? Like, here's where I came in. What do you think? I'm like, hey, 60. They're like, hey, 60 is pretty good. You'll be good there. I'll go to Brett and be like, hey, what do you think ARV is on this one? Like, I'll second guess myself sometimes. So I want a second opinion. It's the same thing with those investors.
Why do you second guess yourself? Because I know you don't second guess yourself at work, like for our deals.
It's a great question. It's my money, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So let's dive into that, right? So I'm a big believer in, like we talked about, the front end of this thing is just, I believe everybody should go chase whatever it is that they want. And obviously you were interested in real estate. I think you've gone a little bit slower than you should have. You should have more rentals right now, but not necessarily. How has this job and your career here with us over the last 2.5 years helped you start to be able to do that? Because I think that's obvious. If you work in real estate, you're going to learn how to invest in real estate or learn what other people do in their jobs at. That's probably the biggest takeaway that we can say from this episode is like, if you want to get into real estate and you're scared to get in real estate on your own, the easiest way to get into real estate is go work for a company that is getting into real estate or is in real estate, right? If you're young enough and you don't need a big income, go be a sales rep and earn commission and hustle and learn, right? If you're in accounting, go be an accountant at a real estate company. You can learn how to do it, right? But go, whatever your skill set is, your easiest path into, whether it's, if you make a ton of money, it might be a little bit harder to get a C-suite position somewhere, right? But if you're younger, you were when you started, it's mid-20s probably, early 20s, like right out of college. Perfect. It's a great opportunity. It's more than an entry-level job. He had a year of experience come in. He literally was in the heart of understanding how transactions work in the real estate space. Like, you want to talk about education? YouTube ain't getting you that education. That job is getting all of that education. So please, if you're interested in real estate and you're listening to this, you're not in real estate, that's the perfect way to get there without having to sacrifice and become a nut job entrepreneur like me, right? Because he is an entrepreneur now, but he is also an entrepreneur with a W-2 high-paying job that he loves, because he enjoys the company, I think, at least, right?
100%.
All the things here. So I want to get into that a little bit for you. Like, whatever you want to say, give us your entrepreneurial journey so far.
I've done one flip. My second one will be finished up, ready to list by the end of this week.
And then you kind of bird the house you're in now, right? As almost a house hack, right?
It's like a live and flip almost, right? Like, so
a house hack is what they'd call that kind of, but
I view a house hack more as like a duplex, live in one half, rent out the other.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing the terms up.
It's irrelevant. But you basically moved in with the idea we're going to need to fix it up a ton over time.
Yeah. And sell it or burr it.
So how'd the first flip go and how's the second flip going?
First one went really well.
What'd you net?
Pre-tax, 35.
So basically a $35,000 bonus because you work here, because you probably wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not taking any credit for us. I'm just saying the power of getting in the right room is not necessarily going to masterminds or whatever. It's just getting in the right room. For you, the right room was a job.
Yeah, with the right people that'll help me out and lend me money.
Yeah. How's the second one going?
It's good. Me and the agent are walking it Friday, so it should be about done. Appliances come Monday, then we'll have it listed probably.
Why do you have no rentals in your portfolio?
I know we talked about it a little bit. Main goal right now, pay off debt. I'm not a huge fan of it, so.
Why are you conservative in a sense? Tell us more about your PI, if you will, or whatever, right? Because like you've been around me now 2.5 years. You've been around TJ. You've also been around others. Now you're younger. I get it. By the way, I'm not throwing you under the bus here. I understand it. You're still a young dude, and you have your whole life ahead of you. So there's to me, your 20s is about learning. 20s is about learning as much as you possibly can, no matter what. Learn in your 20s. 30s is where you start to build, right? 40s is where you change your life. I'm trying to change my life in my 30s. I'm starting to run out of time.
I'm trying to do it now.
Yeah. Well, of course, compress time, right? The more you spend time here and with me, the more you're going to compress time naturally.
Exactly.
But you are around, some others that have been here a little bit before you, the others that have gotten a little bit more aggressive. Evan, Mikey, Josh, Alex Pershing, a lot of the guys that I kind of call the core group of guys and core group of girls and guys that have come into this company. And it's fun for me really watching everybody grow. You're losing. Why? Why? And it's not you're losing. You're in your 20s and you're learning. And you seem to be a little bit more mentally conservative there personally. Why do you think that is? There's no wrong answer here.
Probably growing up, I'd say. Put a little bit in my head. My wife asks me the same question all the time, and the one thing that always sticks out to me is 2008. My parents bought a house right before it crashed. They couldn't sell their house, so they had 2 mortgages. So they were dealing with that for probably 5 or 6 years. They were trying to hold 2 mortgages, so money was maybe a little tighter. So that makes me a little more conservative as far as, anything could happen, right? So I don't know.
As in most things, you just realize that most people don't realize that there's some major traumatic event in their life which creates a way that they think forever moving forward that is extremely hard to overcome for years. Clearly that was it, right? For you, it's you watched your parents buy a house and then you watched the market crash and they couldn't sell both, and then they struggled for 5 years trying to pay 2 mortgages. Shit, I don't want to get myself in a hole by buying too much real estate investment because I'm at this company and this company's cool and they're doing it and they're going to help me and they're giving me an opportunity to learn how to do this, right? But at the end of the day, it's still my risk. And I don't want that, right? I'm still young enough where I don't need that. I'm doing well. I have a good paying job.
Everything.
I travel every weekend. I promised them before, right when we sat down, I was going to make fun of them.
It's fair. It's fair game. But yeah, it's like a bonus. Everything I do now is a bonus. I don't need to do it. It's just I do it because I like doing it and I want to build, a portfolio eventually. But first I want to take care of this before I start doing this, right? It's
you know me, that I always push for goals and to work backwards from them, create financial, create vision, execution, and financial clarity. I don't care who it is, where it is, how big your business is. You work for me full time and you've done a couple flips. I still call you an entrepreneur, you still have a business and you still have a full-time job. Do you have clarity on the vision that where you want to be in your, where do you see that going over the next, call it 2 to 3 to 5 years, whatever, I don't care. But have you put some of those things together around, hey, I want X amount of rentals, or I want to do X amount of flips a year, or hey, I don't really care and I'm just going to do whatever comes to me because I really want to continue to crush my job and get raises. And we worked out a really cool kind of compensation incentive here for you. If you hit it, we'll see where it goes. But you know what I mean? Is that where you want to continue to main focus? Because you can see yourself being an entrepreneur. It's cool, I want to have that on the side, but I'm not going to overly be aggressive after it.
I ask myself this question every day. I struggle with it.
Yeah.
And this is also, I think, one of the questions you asked me during my initial interview is my 5-year, 10-year plan. And I straight up said, I don't know. I was I'm not sure.
You're not an ordinary. Everyone says the same thing. I have no idea.
But for this year, my goal is 5 flips.
5 flips.
So, I bought this one back in December, but I'm counting it for this year. But other than that, no.
So do you have another one under contract?
I went and looked at one this morning. We'll see what the numbers come back at, but we're probably throwing an offer.
Are you going to care if you don't hit 5 this year?
It was an ambitious goal to start with. But once I did my first one, I was all right, I did 1, now I want to do 2 at a time, simultaneously, and then maybe 3, and then maybe 5 or whatever. It's just a matter of finding that many deals to be able to do that. Are you going to stay doing it
yourself, or are you still looking for a partner? Are you considering partnering? I don't remember if you did the first one by yourself.
My first one, I initially was going to partner with Alex. It was a Bethel Park deal. It was a small house, just cosmetic basics. We were only going to profit $20-25. We split it, and we're each making 10. But it was our first flip, so we were seeing it as a learning opportunity. Ended up sewer line issues, it fell through. And then at that point, Alex was hey, I'm just focusing on rentals. I don't want to do any flips. So I was all right, I'm just going to do it myself.
Cool.
I did the partner thing to try to mitigate some risk. And then I was all right, I just got to do it. Just push myself to
well, if it makes you feel any better, dude, there's no real risk because we'd always make sure you're fine on any of the back ends forever. That's the power also of being in the right rooms, the right circles, having the right people on your side. Now I'll tell you that now to give it in the back of your head, but at the same time, I'm never going to guarantee it to you because you got to be able to feel that risk. You got to be able to feel, shit, am I about to lose 30 grand?
Yeah, exactly.
It is not a fun feeling. I've been there before. I lost a lot more than that on certain deals, obviously. I've had a lot more going on, and so you win some, you lose some across the board forever. And if you have a real estate investor sitting here telling anyone in the world that they've never lost on a deal, I'm calling them a liar, and I'm never talking to them again. in a serious way of doing business together, because it's just not realistic, right?
Yeah.
And so anyways, I want you to feel that burn, feel that risk, but at the same time, keep doing you, man.
I feel it.
We appreciate having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Give the audience, right? It's never perfect, so don't worry about making this perfect, right? Give the audience one piece of advice that you believe that they should know and have.
I think it's kind of what you always say. It's just take action, do it. Just don't be scared to take action, do it. That's the best way to learn, just jumping in. Obviously, there's some risks there and try to mitigate as best you can, but at some point in life, you got to take a risk.
You got to go after, right? Whatever that is, and if you're scared of something major, take bite sizes, right? For instance, a perfect example will end here. My man has an interest in investing in real estate. He's been able to do a second flip. It's finishing up. He wanted to get in real estate. He was a banker in a different state. He was moving to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he found a job, an entry-level job doing real estate. And he's learned from there, and now he's kind of going to be off to the races. So yeah, take massive action. Yeah. It's always going to be my first advice I give. It's never perfect, y'all. We appreciate you. Excited to bring you some more episodes here. Hey, Jake, anything you need me to add today? Nothing? Good. Let's go.
Peace.